You're not wrong, Sam. You are not wrong. This is so exciting to me, Des, because this is the epitome of what the Path to Pro is all about. This is the first match of Contenders where both teams have come through that open division, come through trials, and they're about to clash to prove that they belong here.
And to think you can go from playing in Open Division and then find yourself playing at this stage, and that in a few months' time you might be playing in Overwatch League, that is a dream for any competitive solo queue player. So for these guys, this is a big chance to step up and show us exactly what they're made of. Very quickly worth mentioning, these two teams played 2 weeks ago, and that time round it was 3-1 to Angry Titans. However, missing Elevote this week, is it going to be a big factor, or maybe they'll just keep it that same pace again and be able to demolish them as last time? Lady
Luck has tipped the scales in their favor, trying to balance it out a little bit more. Let's look at what we're jumping into. Of course, it's going to be Nepal this week, so we're jumping straight into that. Let's have a look at what these guys are beginning to field for your enjoyment as we enter the Colosseum of Dreams.
The Colosseum of Dreams. I don't know if I call this village the Colosseum of Dreams. It looks a bit chilly.
Metaphorical Colosseum of Dreams, Des. We don't have to talk about a physical one. We're here talking about the dreams of these players as they try and showcase their talent for the OWL and get themselves scouted onto one of those major franchise teams.
Absolutely. Well, there's not much point talking too much about these hovers. We've already been punished for that several times over. But it's worth mentioning that when we saw, again, that's a Disband playing in Trials, Track was the big standout player for us. His Pharah was very difficult to shut down. His aerial duels were fantastic. And rightly so, he is regarded as one of the big players on this team. Limit, funnily enough, we saw him play quite a lot of Reinhardt. Wasn't the most inspiring at moments. There were a couple of times where we thought maybe he got caught out of position. But again, these teams have had a lot of time to practice and prep for this. And if you're going to stand up and show who you are at any time, it's got to be today.
Yeah, during some of those Trials games, he was in fact limited rather than limits. But we'll hopefully see if he's broken through that and can excel today. Angry Titans taking the high ground, jumping onto the point straight away. They've gone for only got on the Bastion, which is an unusual pickup here. They've dropped him down and everyone's carrying behind the terrain rather than a shield. No defense for him. It's open for Limit, and he's just going to slam him against the wall. And that's a huge hit against Angry Titans for this first point.
Well, he's going to get dropped down, and IPN, the substitute, is going to stand up and shout and pick himself up. 2 kills on the back of this one. Looks like this fight is going all the way of Angry Titans, and all those concerns about Elevote not being here and IPN having to stand in completely washed away in this first fight as he washes away that to Disband.
What an amazing turnaround by Angry Titans. Of course, it didn't look good when only God got dropped straight away. But for some reason, that aggressive positioning by Limit actually opened up the field for the rest of Angry Titans to flood into the point and just aggressively take over. So now, that's a Disband, going to have to retake this territory, but with a defensive position that Angry Titans can hold, they now have the advantage, especially with this Bastion. You can see they're forcing him off the high ground straight away. They have to rush this in hard. Coalescence coming in to force them all the way back, and there's a Riptide coming out somewhere, and it's Urki finding Kassors. Limit still keeping up the fight, but Luddy getting on the kill feed himself. Barbie nearly dropping down. 22 HP, has to get out of that fight. Let's see if Junkrat can do anything. There's a demon trapped in front of him, but Luddy with the right click clears him out straight away. And now Barbie's rejuvenated, he's lost his mech, he's flying high, sky high, but guess what? It's just shooting practice for only God.
It's very interesting how this has worked out for them, because the triple tank lineup coming from that's a Disband plus the Junkrat means the actual flexibility and maneuverability that they've got in this lineup, it isn't great. They either land a charge onto Only God, or they get something like the Diva in front and block as much of the damage as they can. But other than that, how realistically can they drop this? There are so many shields and stuff being set up in front of the Bastion. There's nothing to do but look at IPN once again.
IPN showing up huge with that bomb, and Limit, he's stuck on the payload point by himself as Angry Titans still maintaining control of the point. That's a team kill for them, mainly led by IPN's phenomenal stand-in Diva play.
IPN, more like YPN. That's the second or third time now that this has worked out. Your face then. That's the great. And the number of times they've wiped them out has been pretty substantial. That's a Disband yet to even look close to getting the point, but look at this coming from behind Tridd.
Where's he going to go? Who's he going to go for? Taken out by Urki, unfortunately. A little bit too late on that one. Coalescence being used by Trespere, and he's going to plaster the entire building with that juice of Coalescence. And Lolsish going for the charge.
Nice.
A little bit on the side on, does get the mech. Urki comes in with the backup on the Riptide to clear them all out. And Angry Titans, they're not letting this go down without a fight. Elevote, this one's for you, my friends.
Impressive stuff from Angry Titans to get this series underway. That's a Disband. We came into it again, 2 relatively even matched teams. Angry Titans, that was one of the most convincing rounds we've seen of the day so far. In fact, in the other 2 games, we saw some very good scraps in the early on series. Angry Titans, though, leaving no room, showing no remorse. No room for any way for That's a Disband to get back into it, and they've got work to do here. Only God completely caught them off guard. They were not prepared for that Bastion.
Absolutely not, but they're going to go back to something they are expecting from Only God, and that's to see a little bit of Tracer play coming out. And IPN, He's going on to the Soldier. If he sticks with this, they're running the triple DPS composition. We saw this played earlier by British Hurricane. And this guy, if IPN can nail the Soldier when he's supposedly a support main, this guy's the jack of all trades.
This is the modern day full dive. Everything they've got here is with the intent of killing someone in the backline incredibly quickly. My biggest concern is what happens. Does the blade become dulled if they lose one of these DPS members early on? But the Winston helps out massively with that, just jumping into the backline, picking someone off. As of yet, no one has gone down. Of course, with the Discord orb, it makes that job an awful lot easier.
And there we go, they're clashing over by the spawn rooms. Rather than fighting on the point, they're usually trying to duck and weave around that area. Not commit. Track with the Helix rocket sends Only God flying. And now they're looking to get and transition that advantage onto the point. Flying back into the corner. Bodies over the floor. Track again with the double kill on the Helix rockets. And Limit comes in to clean him up. You know what, Luddy? At that point, you just give up. Point going over to that's a disband.
Angry Titans here, I think you change back to what you know works. Because yes, you caught them off guard with the Only God playing before. Clearly, this triple DPS has not worked out in your favor. And rightly so, IPN is going to go back onto that D.Va. It was, okay, guys, we tried. It didn't work. Let's go back to what works. We do not want to throw away these early maps.
Yeah, and Track now getting damage boosted as well. It's going to do dividends for him as he just takes a few shots and whittles him down a little bit further. All going onto his side, so he's going to have to retreat back, play a little bit more defensively. Barbie, very dangerous there. If he got demeched over the pit, that was game over for him, but here comes the Monkey. Urki with the dash through. He finds the D.Va. Now she's out of her shell. Where else is the damage coming from? Track still on the back line, blocked by the bubble. He has to clear that out as Lolshis finds Mouse. And now Angry Titans regain control of the point. But here comes Attack Visor, immediately blocked and deflected. Shut down by Lolshis as he comes around the back as he finds another one. No one's stopping him from decimating the back line. And A-Fox, he's just here to put the discords. He's here to do the healing. And he's got himself a tasty little trance.
This is very reminiscent of what we saw from August and Hungry when they played this exact point on Sanctum. Just burning out the Soldier ult for no good reason, really. Using it and expecting to win something when they've already got the point under control, when you've got a Winston pressuring you out. Not going to work out for you there, so a bit of a mistake.
4 ultimates on the side of Angry Titans. A-Fox, Lolshis, Urki, Only God. He just threw out that pulse bomb. Nothing to be seen on the kill feed from that, but they're fighting in this corner again. And now he's got Track pinned in there. The Discord orb won't be enough, but the Transcendence certainly will be to keep him alive. Miles on the A-Fox, Track on the IPN. The D.Va bomb, it whiffs a little bit. And here's Miles back on the point. He's got a pulse bomb of his own. Who's he going to throw it onto? Oh, boots off the side, has to dash forward, but guess what? He's got reinforcements from Barbie as they clear it out and retake the point and try to balance out round 2.
Looking good for That's a Disband. Much stronger this time round, admittedly with some messy play from Angry Titans early on in the round. That's a Disband though, again, even with Track's ultimate being blown in a way that wasn't really ideal for them, they still made things work. I'm still looking to see when the tanks really step up for That's a Disband, because Limit so far especially has been incredibly quiet on this Winston.
Well, he's got a Primal Rage available. That's certainly not a quiet ability, so we'll see if he pops that in the next fight. But Urki, he's sitting on a Dragon Blade at the moment, dives onto the back line, they're all pinned into the room. This should be a cutting ground for him. Got caught on the side, didn't land it at all. Have a few little deflects, no kills to show for it, and then Limit. You wanted him to wake up, here he is, smacking down the Genji, punishing that terrible, terrible Dragon Blade. And you know what, A-Fox, he felt it. You felt it, man, and he went straight to his death.
Urki, we've seen a few questionable Dragon Blades today. That is definitely going on the list as well. Going into the backline with the right idea, but getting caught on that wall, that's a massive mistake, and that ultimately cost them that kill onto the Mercy. So Kasora is happy to walk away. Limit, like you say, more than happy to smack down that Genji and go, get off my support. I want them to stay alive.
Yeah, he's brawling around. He's protecting her like King Kong, but here comes Luddy jumping onto the point. Getting himself on there. Someone's got to go and answer it, and it looks like it's going to be Limit. Just going to shock him out. Only God finding Miles in the Tracer Jewel. Jumping up high. There needs to be some healing in this back corner because, well, there's been a D-Mech, but that D.Va should be going down as well. Urki, he was the one who found it. They were trapped in this room. They need some serious healing. Here comes Luddy. Going to amp it up. Get the movement speed as well. There's a little bit of a Transcendence being knocked away by Winston. Can't quite get him off the edge because of the increased movement speed. But he's still going to keep smacking him around. Valkyrie up in the air as well to sustain. Here comes Luddy, looking to get onto Track, right in his face with the Lucio. Really oppressive and obnoxious if you don't know how to deal with it. But that's got to be Mercy. Still keeping alive. IPN finally falls. Barbie helps them secure the point, and that's a Disband. Ties out Nepal.
Nice stuff. Okay, so a little bit messy from Angry Titans compared to their first point. Admittedly, the Only God Cheese did really help out with the Bastion. Playing it as a more standard comp, head on, it feels almost like for That's a Disband, they've been able to respond to that Cheese a little bit better. They've responded to the more standard play that they're comfortable with. Maybe that suggests a bit of a lack of flexibility on their side, and we've said that word so many times today, I think I'm going to run my head through a wall, but it's the same story. Flexibility-wise, that's a Disband, not showing too much of it so far.
Is this like Sesame Street, where each broadcast we have a word of the day?
The word of the day.
Today's children, today's word is flexibility.
Basically.
And we're going to keep harping on about that as it goes on. But no, it's been a crucial point. It's been a deciding factor for a lot of these teams, and it's one of those more subtle notes that comes out. Here's what I like to see, though, with some changes up from That's a Disband. Yeah,
that's the deciding factor for this match, is Track going on to that Pharaoh. We've already spoken about how well he played it in Trials. Can he have the same impact against Angry Titans? Because Trials was a very different story.
Only keeps going for these unconventional picks as well. He's gone on to the Sombra as well. Symmetra, could you imagine a world?
Could you imagine?
But no, he's gone on to Sombra, so let's see what he can do on this hero as well. As Urki gets a hook on the Mouse. The hack is there as well. It locked him in place long enough for Only God to pick up the kill and shut down Mouse.
This is exactly what we saw in the game against Giganti. It was all about Davin being hacked by the Tracer on the other side. This time around, though, it's actually working. Only God is doing work so far, bringing down that Pharmacy duo, and they will win this point out decisively.
If he can close the gap between the Pharmacy duo and he gets that hack, he's either going to huck down Mercy, shut her out of the fight, or hack down Track and bring him down to their level so it's an easy pickup.
Absolutely. We're forcing them all the way back towards their spawn here, not even giving them a chance to try and contest the point. Angry Titans showing more of what we saw in round one, all about that aggression, all about the pressure, all about just laying out enough damage that That's a Disband don't know how to respond.
There we go, damage the team. That's exactly what we're talking about. Hacked, and now he's got nothing to do. You heard the boop come out as he translocated back to his original position, and it really shuts down the consistency of the DPS. You know, you can get over it in a couple of seconds to get back up, but those creates windows for That's a Disband and Angry Titans to reset themselves.
It's a very different kind of way of dealing with a Pharaoh, but it works, needless to say.
Yeah, the fight's happening. Limit goes on to Lolsh's. Coalescence was used. There's the EMP. This should be an easy pickup for Angry Titans. They send the bomb nice and high, but somehow That's a Disband still staying in it. Despite having a turnaround kill, they've lost their Zenyatta. Mouse on 22 HP, and there's a Primal Rage being popped. Only God is off the floor, so no more hacks. And look at this, it's still going tight nicely, and That's a Disband. Should get control of this point, unless Limit... No, they're going to cancel it.
Yeah, they're going to completely sacrifice that fight, because they knew they were just kind of fighting for scraps towards the end of that one. When you've only got 2 members left around fighting, and there's still 5 members of Angry Titans on the point, it's a done deal. Don't give them any more ult charge, because that's exactly what these big tanks are worth, is a lot of ult charge.
What can Track do with the ult charge? He's been given, though, sitting on a barrage at the moment. Got to find a good angle. He has only got to get, well, he's got to get through IPN and Lolshis to have any effect. Defense Matrix, Reinhardt's shield, he's really going to struggle, so you're going to have to do a little bit of legwork unless he can find a creative angle. He's looking for it right now. Here it is! Surprise! As he drops it down onto the point. Nice reaction from Angry Titans to shut it down immediately afterwards, but with one of the supports down, it's not looking good. Hacked Barbie. He's got no defense matrix to block these shots, but now he has to worry about Track. He can't use it on him. Translocates out. Meanwhile, Limit and Tri-Spear, they've come out of their own and taken down Angry Titans.
So Track died for his sins there, but bringing the Moira down basically removed all the healing from this front line that Angry Titans are playing with. They're playing on that triple tank. Of course, without a Moira there, you are going to feel that. You are going to feel the pain, or the tickle, should we say, of a Lucio heal. It's never going to be enough to keep that front line standing, and in that case, he did all that was required of him. So fair play to Track. Good use of the ult. Well,
Mal's being a little bit sneaky. He scouted out where they're coming from so he can feed that information to his team. They know where they need to position themselves to stop this next push. But there's a hook in for Barbie, taking out the mech straight away. Here comes the Coalescence to burst him down, and Avox, he's on point with the tracking. He finds it all that he needs to. Mouse with the pulse bomb onto Urki, shuts him down, but there's Mouse backing out yet again. Meanwhile, Only God assassinates Zenyatta by removing those shields. Resurrection coming out for Barbie. Hacked Track yet again. And he's being booped around by Lucio, but no one's there to deal the damage. Looks like Lolshis going to force him away, but Concussive Blast keeps him safe. But also consider as well that you had that Mercy healing him the whole time, so it would never count. Stick comes down onto Lolshis. He's incredibly low. And suddenly Angry Titans being forced back on the point. Some more kills come through for them, though. This looks like their fight. That's a Disband trying their best to hold on. The ult comes out from Trap, but gets no one. Angry Titans take over. They wipe out most of the team, and they will be the ones taking Nepal. Map 1 going over to Angry Titans. So it may be a repeat of what we saw when they faced up in Contenders Trials. Definitely puts the onus on them, but it could also be the exact opposite. We've only seen 1 map so far. We got 3 more to go. Absolutely. Yeah. It's going to be a close one because for the most part there, that second round especially, I hate saying it, we've said it so many times today, flashes of brilliance once again. We saw it the second round. However, Angry Titans have looked more consistent. And we said this when we're on the desk, consistency is key for these teams. If they're not going to show consistency, it's an Angry Titans win. Well, let's talk a little bit about Only God, because, you know, we came out the door, it caught us off guard, we didn't really realize the Bastion was a thing. You know, these players, they keep picking things in spawn rooms, and we're like, okay, well, you know, he's going to change off that. We lose our trail of thought, we look back, suddenly there's a Bastion rolling through the enemy team. Yes, he did get shut down by Limit, but it's the pressure, it's the action he forced from Limit that allowed the team to push through and get an early cap on that. Yeah, he mixed it up as he went into round 2. It was round 3 where he brings out the Sombra, and you could see it even on the POVs of Track. He kept shutting him down and creating options and windows for his team to succeed. Let's have a look at what we're going into next, though. It's Hollywood is the selected map by That's a Disband.
Well, Protect the President, we speak about this comp quite a lot. In this case, will they be daring enough to pull something like that out? I'm not sold on it, but we've seen crazier things happen even in the higher echelons of Overwatch League. So, if they choose to go for Only God on the Bastion once again, we've already seen once that That's a Disband cannot deal with it.
Well, I feel like Only God on that Bastion was literally for the surprise factor. But there's definitely merits to it, but they won't be running it on the first point because they actually need to capture the point before they move to escort. But yeah, if they were feeling a little bit brave, feeling they want to flex their muscles a little bit and really show how expansive their hero pool is collectively, then by all means, go ahead and play Bastion again. I don't think we're going to see it, though.
Let's not forget earlier how Giganti played this out as well. On their first round attack, they swept completely around the back, disregarded the whole of August and Hungary, took the high ground, and before you know it, that point was theirs. Job done. If we see something aggressive like that coming out of Angry Titans, because they seem like the team that is willing to pull out these riskier level plays, that's the kind of thing that will gives them that small advantage over That's a Disband. And when you've got two teams who have both come through Path to Pro, this is the small things that can give you the advantage. The small things that the other team don't expect, surprises. That's what can get you small wins. They might be cheat wins, but a win is a win.
Yeah, if you're caught off by surprise, if you don't know what you're doing, how is the enemy team supposed to know what you're doing?
Exactly, Tridd.
It's all about the misdirection. Let's have a look at what
play.
Yeah, pretty much. Story of everyone's competitive play. If no one knows what they're doing, it's all up in the air. Let's try and see if they can bring it back down to the ground with a little bit of sensical compositions.
Say sensical. I was going to say, we've seen a little bit of Widowmaker play coming out of That's a Disband in Scrim so far. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they do choose to come up with the Widowmaker. We won't talk too much about the hovers right now because they've got some ridiculous picks on side. But we can talk about Angry Titans and IPN going towards this Torbjorn. This definitely feels like I've just stepped into competitive, Tridd.
You've definitely stepped into a trap. I don't think he's going to keep that up, unfortunately. So let's ignore IPN for the time being. Let's see how far he gets with that. I imagine he'll change off it, but he might want to run it still. I don't know, but it looks like they're running for,
there we go.
Obviously, Luddy, Afox, Lolshis, Urki, Only God, going potentially for the Sombra on this one. So another Sombra player instead of going to let Only God flex his muscles on the Tracer and see how IPN can do.
I'm not 100% sold on this triple DPS defense coming out. That's something you see an aggressive side go towards. Going for something like that when you're on the defensive side. Okay, we saw earlier on, holding inside the house with the Mercy worked out very, very well for them until the Mercy dropped. My biggest concern is that if they just charge into the backline, who is going to protect Afox or Luddy?
Who's going to protect him from Tracer Genji dive with Limit and Barbie going up there? So this is dive. They're going to love it. That's a Disband looking to go aggressive. But immediately, you look how aggressive Only God was there. He's like,
hey guys,
hiya! And then disappears back into the point straight away.
Here we go.
They jump into the house. But look, Track's already found Luddy. Mouse onto Urki as well. Where are your DPS options? Where's your Mercy? A hack comes out to try and keep things a little bit stable, but it's not going their way. Limit finds Lolshis. That's a Disband. Have just rolled Angry Titans on this point.
Now, I know we said Angry Titans are a flexible team. I didn't mean flexible enough to play triple DPS on your first round of defense on Hollywood. We said we were worried. That was a catastrophe. That's the worst outcome they could hope for on that first round defense. Not really sure why they thought it was a good idea, but they did. And now they've got to try and make it work on second point, or they've got to mix something around.
Already, they're taking the aggressive posturing, getting themselves set up in stage 2. They don't want to concede that high ground because that's how games get stalled out. They go ahead, they take it themselves, or at least dislodge That's a Disband from it, they're more likely. But Only God still finds a way to weave onto the payload, stall it out, because you typically only want to leave one person on there. Pays for it with his life. There's the hack on the mouse. They really need to capitalize on this now. So IPN needs to get the kill. 29 HP, moving on to the HP pack, but it's Lolshis who slaps down Tracer and gets himself that kill.
Best Tracer. It's a hack Tracer because she died very quickly. That's the thought of many players, I'm very, very sure.
Free HP
going incredibly low, but still keeps himself in the mix. So, still not mixing things around on Angry Titans, but they are slowly starting to win fights away. Starting to pick off the key members. Question is it going to be enough for them? I do wish you go towards the D.Va because the verticality at the second point is so important to play around. They have very little to get onto the high ground here except for the Winston.
Well, look at the hack range on that. Getting Miles nearly on the ground floor. He has the EMP available as well, so let's see if he dive bombs into that. Maybe combos it with a little bit with the tactical visor. With no shields, it forces movement around the terrain instead. IPN going to wheelie down and traveling back to safety. There's another HP pack. Hack. And he's going to try and stealth himself in. This might be the window now. He needs to jump on there, translocate into the fight. There's the EMP to shut it all down. Where's the damage coming from? Where's the reinforcements? A little bit late on the reaction, but Angry Titans finally wake up. There's the tag visor on the Cassors, and Only God finds Limit as well. Jumps down into the hiding. They try to go through the terrain, gets the abilities back just in time, but he's been stuck by Erky as Mouse turns it around with a pulse bomb.
Yeah, very, very good fight coming out by Angry Titans. I've got to say, I wasn't 100% sure on this triple DPS, but they are making it work on the second point. But that's a Disband, though. They're fighting on the low ground consistently. They're so wrapped up in trying to push this payload. I almost wish they would just take this high ground. What a tag, gotta say. But I wish they would take this high ground and just fight from above, because that's how they're going to be able to match up against Angry Titans. Right now, far too honed in on the payload. Yeah, now Lolsish takes that Tri-Spear. Let's have a look at some of the ultimates available for that. A Disband, Cassors, Track, Limit. All got that available for them. Lolsish and Luddy. Only for Angry Titans. They did burn a lot down on that previous defense. So I think the earnest is on that to Disband to go aggressive now, capitalize on the ult economy they built up for themselves. No HP pack for you there. You're going to have to back away. This is that. Well, that's not your territory pretty much. Again, this high ground, that is completely conceding it over to Angry Titans, who take a while to get onto this high ground. They haven't got a lot of movement abilities to get them up there. Still, Angry Titans hold out with this triple DPS. We thought the tank might be a better option for them, showing so far that it's not needed. They just keep on picking off members of that's a Disband. They have to pull back, wait for the respawn to come through. It's just slowly starving them out here. They've been here for 2.5 minutes now. But because of how quickly they were able to take point A, they've actually got themselves so much time to work with as the fight jumps up high. They take it to the skies. Track with that ultimate finds 2 with a dash. A third on A-Fox. Didn't even see that kill come up on the feed. But guess what? He's going for Lolsish now with the help of his Raging Monkey friend. No one's on the payload, but now they've got plenty of time and plenty of space to get it moving. A good combo between Track and Limit there with their ults to get on the high ground, force Angry Titans off of it, and now they can go for the push. I gotta say, this is the most bizarre thing seeing this triple DPS hang around so long. I've honed on the points a lot, so this will be the last thing I say on it. I'm worried about it for the third point. Well, a little bit of potential, but Crafty as a fox kicks into the head, takes down Track. Limit just gonna lightning shock a few people down as well. Still trying to get control. There's on the wrong side. There's a minute. A-Fox forcing out a Transcendence. They're still contesting this point. They don't want it to go to stage 3. Somehow, Angry Titans are holding on, but they can't hold on any longer. They're going to get a little bit of a time extension, force it out to the final stage of Hollywood. 3.5 minutes for that to Disband to prove that they deserve at least one map in this series as well. To take the first one on Hollywood. Straight away, they're diving into the backline here and trying to bring down the supports, isolate out these members who are all on their own and make them go down. IPN is going to be the first target. That's the EMP off the board for them. Going to come back very shortly though, and because of the aggressive pathing that the Disband are taking, they push so far ahead of the payload. To be honest, when it becomes a point when you need to contest it, you're going to be back up anyway, right? If that was a crucial fight where the payload was where the kill occurred, then I'd be really concerned. Well, let's see what they can do on this final point now, trying to push in. They do have ults on side for Angry Titans, 2 aggressive ults to make that 3. All DPS members now have those available, but we've seen them kind of be a bit anticlimactic so far. The EMP didn't really turn too much for them last time, but either way, Track is going to get dropped down here. That aggression is definitely hurting his impact in this game. Well, Hack coming out, not the EMP just yet. It's more than enough for the rest of Angry Titans to roll through that to Disband, force them all the way back. May leave Barbecue alive a little bit longer, but there you go, finally going to get taken out. Nice trading as well. Erky's damage coming through quite substantial. So this is the time where we've actually started to see the triple DPS work, because so far, that's a Disband have barely been able to move this payload forward. It's stuck on this corner. They are constantly being contested off and chased out of town by Angry Titans. But now they've got all DPS ultimates available. Pulse bomb being thrown by Only God to no success. Still sitting on that EMP. Now it's been dropped. Where's the go button for the rest of this team? Barbie loses his mech straight away. Lolsish just running around. There's no mobility left on the team, but IPN's joining the fray with the kills as well. And Only God, he's looking for the scraps. Barbie will fall down as well. Complete shutdown by Angry Titans. Gotta say, their rotation of ults so far has been great. They've been using 1 aggressive ult per fight to make sure they can clean this up. In that case, that early pulse bomb at the start of last fight wasn't super great for them, but they still got Erky's. They've almost got the Transcendence online. However, the IPN has gone down to Mouse, instantly traded back out by Only God. So, 1-on-1 so far. Is this a time for that to Disband to try and go for the push? Here you go. Drop down onto Dragon Blade once you clear out a few more bodies and start getting this in motion. You really need to come to the back line. Erky using that tactical visor, and now Track stuck in the lightning. Not a good opportunity for him to use that Dragon Blade. Meanwhile, Erky still trying to find targets, having to back out. I believe he's got a monkey chasing him around. And Winston's going to keep booping everyone away and buying more time for this payload to be in motion. Now, Erky will go down, now Limits back into his normal form. Guess whose time it is to get angry. Much better seeing that's a Disband push with this aggression. There's only a couple of members for Angry Titans currently left on the point. They've got a Rampaging Monkey in the backline, but is it enough? Even the Transcendence is forced out here. Track
using the Dragon Blade, no success at the moment. Transcendence is the perfect counter to it. Diva Bomb trying to clear some space. It is the minefield. You do not want to walk into that as Mouse finds only God still on the payload. Transcendence to keep everyone alive. That's a Disband. They're getting the kills. They're getting the ground. They cleared them out and they complete Hollywood.
I'm not too sure what IPN did at the end there because he was on point contesting and then flew away. And then the completion came through and he was like, oh, I should probably fly back in now. A bit of a questionable end for them. And that triple DPS was interesting, should we say. The Diva pick at the end, a nice pick for stall tactics. But ultimately, the completion still comes through for that to Disband.
Mixed results, by the way. If you just caught the kill feed right at the end there, that was a huge Diva Bomb that actually decimated everyone. But it doesn't count. Round was already over.
Unfortunately.
But, it was good placement by IPN. Just not enough at the moment. Let's see how they mix it up on the offense, though. Right, so let's look at defense first. We'll say that's a Disband. See what they're doing. What's going on with them. Zenyatta, Mercy, Diva, Tracer, and a Soldier. Limit's probably going to go onto that tank as well. I imagine it's going to be Winston, although he could make it. We could shift it up, go onto the Reinhardt. They wanted a more stable tank to go through.
Giganti did pick up the Winston earlier on as well in their response. I thought it would be a Reinhardt for the first point, purely to hold that angle corner incredibly well. In this case, it seems like Winston seems to be the go-for, again, because of the verticality. If they take the high ground, you want something to get up there and be able to contest. He can jump on top, drop the shield, and then suddenly the rest of your team has got pretty much great free reign coming through from the house at the back end with little to no response.
But looks like they're committing to these picks now. Track, he's going to have that Pocket Mercy. Kasor's going to be in the house with him to keep that alive. Limit, he's going to be jumping around, as is Mouse. Tri-Spear is probably going to be in the house. That seems to be the space of operations when you go into this defensive mode. So really, the people who are charging out, it's the tanks and the DPS, barring Track.
Absolutely. Well, I'm curious to see what they bring out in the attacking round. I don't know if triple DPS will give them the same results that they were hoping for on the defensive round. However, it's probably the better place to pull out something like a triple DPS.
Potentially on the offensive round, but you got to look, really, they kind of have got to guess based on how everyone has been playing Hollywood. They're just going to sit themselves up in the house and have a creative way to do it. Only God's going to switch over to Tracer as we expected, and they're going to kick off their attempt at offense.
I would have preferred to see Lulcious picking up the Winston here because that way you've got an exact replica of that's a Disband's pick up on the first point last time round. One of them in about 30 seconds. Go for that deep dive, force the backline out, and that is how you look to win. Of course, that's a Disband going for a more conventional lineup here, so should be able to hold this house much better. Angry Titans currently being harassed though by Mouse.
Well, I'm getting deja vu of Team Giganti's placement where they took over the house themselves and knocked everyone down. And now they've switched the tables a little bit. I don't think it's been successful as Giganti has only got still peppering them on, but they're making that Disband look like the defensive team. The offensive team, but they're getting those kills.
Absolutely. Well, so far, Angry Titans going with a very, very solid push. At this point, completely solo on the point. They got Barbie firing that mini Diva pistol, trying to pick off some kills. Not that it's really going to matter too much, as it looks like they're actually going to clean things up here. And they will detract Angry Titans in their aggression, because for the start of that fight, that looked like it was going all Angry Titans' way.
Well, they had some nice positioning around the point, get themselves up into the house, take over the high ground, and all that jazz. What they didn't do, which is what Team Giganti did, was get the kills and actually really force the mistake and force the error from that to Disband.
Let's see if they can make this second push work out for them. Angry Titans, again, very, very solid on the pile. Not looking so hot on Hollywood so far.
Well, Urki needs to dash away, 47 HP, Coalescence, not really getting all of him to keep him healthy. Now it's lined up and he's getting the sustain. Helix Rocket might be awkward for him, still running low again, but he's smacked around by a Limit, and he gets back onto the point. Now only God, he's going to join the fray. He has to be the DPS now that we've lost Urki, but it's all going bad for Angry Titans. They've lost too many members to keep this up. They're just playing for ult charge at this point, but they're also giving so much away.
Urki spent so much time there trying to block Track. I think he was aware that ultimate was going to be available any second now. Wanted to get up there and be the deflector who stood in front of the Soldier if it were to come online. Unfortunately, messed up another jump. We saw him do it earlier on the pile as well by getting caught on a wall. Maybe he needs to have a bit of practice with those dashes because he's missed a couple of those key ones now. That means he doesn't get to block that ult. 4 ults available for that to Disband though. Angry Titans have got 2 minutes to play with. This is a struggling point for them.
2 minutes, there's a little bit of a sticking point. They need to break through this line. And there's the Dragon Blade. Immediate Transcendence reaction coming out from Tri-Spear. So that shut down the ultimate. And now they've still not got no control. Urki has to back out on Track. Still holding his position. They haven't dislodged. That's a Disband from this house, and Track is just able to sit there. He's been sitting on Tactical Visor for so long.
The best thing is he's basically sitting up here on his own, and his tanks are sitting actually on the point itself in front of him. We saw early on with Gigante, the big stalling point was sticking everyone inside the house. What they're trying to do is just block most of the members of Angry Titans from getting onto Track in the back, because he is doing work on this soldier.
Preempted sound barrier to come out and allows him to use the movement speed to get him on. Mouse finds the pulse bomb onto Lolshis, and there's a demon bomb in the house. Everyone evacuate! You're not going to be able to stay in there much longer, and still that's a Disband, keeping control of the kills. Urki onto Limit. And Barbecue will shut him down shortly afterwards. There's a resurrection to bring Limit back into the fold. And there's no major losses on the side of that's a Disband, but you're losing so much time if you're Angry Titans.
A lot of time. Track is still sitting on that visor, and they've still got 2 other ults to play with. On the other side, what have you got? You've maybe got the Transcendence up soon. You've got Only God with that Pulse Bomb. Question is, who's going to stick it to? Stick it to a tank, and it's a waste. Try and get onto Track in the back line. You've got a lot of verticality to climb, and they always see you coming.
Only God's got to get into the house and just get him out of the house. If he can use the explosives to force him away, he'll be doing good.
Too late.
First of all, he's got to worry about Track with Attack Visor, Lolshis, Luddy, and Only God. Now he's got Urki as well. Another clean sweep, 30 seconds left. This is last chance saloon for Angry Titans on Hollywood.
And they're trying to stagger them. They've staggered Only God here. He may not be here in time. In fact, he's a trace. He'll be very quick, so completely disregard that point. But for the most part, Angry Titans, like you say, this is the last chance saloon for them. They've got 2 aggressive ults, and they've got the Transcendence. It's now or never. Otherwise, we might have our first 1-on-1 at half-time.
That would be tasty for this series. We wanted this to be a good one to close off the first day. And now Urki, he's going to lead the charge with his Dragon Blade. He's dived up. He got the jump.
Missed again.
Knocked out of the house. Where are you going with the Dragon Blade, my friend? There's a Diva Bomb to shut him down even further. That ticks down the time, but Track and Miles have done the deed. Only got the only one to answer back. Goodbye, Angry Titans. That's a Disband. Shut them out of Hollywood and tie the series 1 apiece.
Angry Titans, turn to Disband. What on earth was going on in that round? Hollywood was a disaster for them. I have no idea what they were playing at. Triple DPS first. What on earth is that all about in defense? Second round, Urki. How many times do you want to get stuck on a column with your Genji? Honestly, the number of times that Track just stood there and was like, hello, and then did nothing. He just said, like, okay, bye, shot him, and that was it.
Perfect angle for him as well, because if he has the high ground, he just shoots the Helix rockets.
Gotta say, we were focusing an awful lot on Angry Titans. One thing that Disband did very, very well was control the dive. The only person who ever managed to get past the tank line was the Genji, so it was an easy cleanup for Soldier and his 2 supports. After that, you had this great front line, sitting there with the Diva, Barbecue especially, denying any kind of follow-up dive.
Well, here's the thing about the supports. They showed great restraint because they noticed the difference between, oh, I've heard the Genji, I know he's coming at me, let me pop my ult preemptively to stop me from getting taken out. The only time he actually had to pop ult in that situation was when we saw Urki actually get through, and he did it immediately, no one died, and then you just shut out a Genji again. But we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to have our analysts look at this a little bit further.